Hey, Laura from Gold Star Work here. Today I am doing a very special tag, and I saw this tag on Clara Barrera's channel, and she was doing the To All Essential Workers Heroes Thanks a Million Rainbow look, and she said she was tagged by Ellie M's channel, and I will link her and Ellie's channel down below so you can see where that came from. And she didn't actually tag me as such, but when I commented on her video, she said, "Oh, I'd love to see you do it," because she wanted to see this tag go all around the world and have as many people as she could doing this tag, to thank all the workers out there who are putting their lives on the line to give us essential services. And the idea was to do a rainbow look, and that's what I did here. I did this rainbow look. But I thought I'd put a little twist on it because I am an artist as well, and a few of my paintings back here. So I thought I would do a rainbow look, but I was also decided I would do a rainbow painting. So I am going to show you a rainbow look while I do a rainbow painting, and thanks for all the essential workers out there. And while I'm doing the painting, I thought I'd also combine this with a tag that I saw Maria from Agave Love Girl do, and it was her own tag, and she did say that after she made the video she found someone else who'd done a similar tag which she had linked in her video, but I'm just going to do Maria's questions, so I thought you might like to see how I made this look and how I did a rainbow painting at the same time. So first of all, I'd like to say a big thank you for all those people who are having to go out and work at this time instead of staying home and staying safe. They have to go out and risk catching the virus. And we have been lucky here in where I live in that we haven't actually had any cases locally, but we have had cases around us. And everyone has been very careful to stay home, where the whole country in New Zealand is on level 4 alert, which means essential workers only, so food, groceries, medical, petrol stations and things like that are open, and everything else is closed. So there's basically nothing you can do if you go out anyway because nothing's open. And to all those people who are going out there and risking themselves and their families by possibly bringing something home with them, I say thank you very much. And because I know how I feel when I go out. I live in a household with my 83-year-old dad and with my husband, who is chronically ill, and I am terrified of bringing something home that could potentially kill one of my loved ones. So I appreciate the fact that you are all still going out there and doing your job, so thank you very much. So Maria made a tag called the Quarantined Beauty tag, and I thought I'd answer these questions as you watch me do my rainbow painting. So it's just 7 questions. So the first question was, have you been doing your makeup more often, the same amount, or less often during quarantine? Well, quarantine for us isn't that much different from everyday life because I'm home anyway, and so it started off not that much different. I was determined to carry on as normal, but there is something mentally that goes differently when you're at home and you can't go out, rather than just choosing not to go out. So I started off well, and I was still doing my makeup all the time, and then we got some bad news concerning my husband's health, and coming to grips with that meant I sort of stopped doing everything for a little while. So there has been less videos from me just lately, not because I haven't got videos to put out, because I just haven't got around to doing anything with them. So I started off well, and then as time went on I got less and less videos, but hopefully I woke up this morning and thought, no, I feel like doing something, so I decided to do this tag. So hopefully that means that I'm over that and can just get on with life again. And I realised how often I go out just to distract myself. Like if I'm not feeling it great or I don't feel very motivated, I often go out just so that I'm doing something instead of doing nothing. And I didn't realise how often I did that until I can't go out. Number 2 was, have you reorganised anything during quarantine? I did lots of planning at the beginning of things I wanted to do, and planning YouTube videos, and planning art stuff and things, and I'm much better at planning than I am at doing because I haven't done most of them. And as for reorganising, I had started decluttering before the lockdown, but I stopped decluttering after the lockdown because I can't get rid of anything, and I hate decluttering and then not being able to do anything with the stuff I've decluttered. I hate having it sitting there waiting for me to get rid of it. So I stopped decluttering when the lockdown happened. Number 3, have you... Oh, okay, so number 2 was, have you organised or reorganised anything? And number 3 was, have you decluttered? So number 3, I answered I stopped decluttering because I couldn't get rid of the stuff. Have I organised and reorganised? Well, I did lots of planning. I did rearrange my makeup desk because just before quarantine I had swapped my filming room around. So I did do a little bit of that, and I had decluttered just before quarantine all our CDs. So I had a CD rack, which is just a really nice wooden shelf that fits everything, perfect size for a CD to fit in, but it doesn't have any slots or anything. So it just looks like a nice wooden shelf now, and I've put all my Shop My Stash stuff on my desk now. So I did reorganise some things, and I reorganised my wardrobe because it was change of seasons anyway. So from my summer wardrobe I reorganised into my autumn wardrobe. So I did do some reorganising. And I already answered the decluttering one, so we'll go on to number 4. What shows, YouTube channels have you been binge watching? Now normally I don't watch a lot of actual TV. I watch quite a lot of YouTube and usually my friends and things, but since the lockdown, and especially since I went through that patch of not wanting to do anything after some bad news, I started watching Netflix and binge watching a few shows there. And what I'm binge watching at the moment is from the Hallmark channel, so you can guess that that's a very kind of love story, feel good type of show, and that's all I can cope with at the moment. Anything too stressful or sad or dramatic, and I'm finding I'm just tearing up and feeling sad. So I have been watching When Calls the Heart, which is basically a American frontier light-hearted kind of show, and I've been really enjoying it. And it's got lots of seasons, and each season has got lots of programs, so I have been binge watching that lately. Number 5, have you taught yourself anything new during this time? What have I learnt or done? I did start off reading some of my art books, and I did learn a few little tricks in there, and I was determined to carry on doing that, but as I said, I got halfway through the quarantine and had a bit of a hiccup mood-wise and couldn't get myself into gear to do anything. But the other thing I was doing is I had read, what was that book called? Listening to an audiobook about doing good morning routines, and I was doing that, and we start off with doing your gratitude journal and just general journaling and meditation, and I think it was, I can't remember his last name now, and I can't find it. Tim, whatever his name was, 7 Daily Habits of Success or something like that. I find when I listen to the audiobook, I don't remember the names as much as if I have an actual book where I can look at the title of the book more often. But I was doing that, and I was doing really well and getting quite motivated and doing some exercise in the morning, and do your meditation and do your gratitude journal and plan your day out. And there are 7 steps that you do each morning. Instead of just doing 1 or 2 of them, you do all 7, and it's supposed to set you up for success. And it was working quite well. And then when I went into a bit of a funk halfway through the lockdown, I stopped doing it. So I need to get back into that, because I know having a routine is really important for me when I'm not feeling that great about the world. And but sometimes you just also got to give yourself time and space to feel your feelings and give yourself a bit of a break, and then get back into it. It's all about how long it takes for you to get back into it, really. I don't want to be in a funk for weeks and weeks and months, but I've had probably a week and a half of where I really haven't achieved much, and it's time I started getting back into the daily routine again. Number 6, are you maintaining some kind of schedule or routine? I'm answering the questions before they come up, apparently. That was all part of learning something new, that answer, but I definitely find having a schedule and a routine is really helpful, and I do that in my everyday life anyway. And I started doing that a couple of years ago really strongly when my husband first got sick, and I needed to have the motivation to get out of bed and get dressed and, you know, put my makeup on and get on with the day. And that's when I first started doing the Fly Lady, and when I first started really playing with makeup a lot. And then I started doing YouTube because I was playing with my makeup so much and I wanted to share it and have fun with it. And doing YouTube and doing the makeup on YouTube has been a lifesaver for me, because apart from sharing it, I've just met such wonderful, supportive people that have really helped me through difficult times, and I am really appreciative of that. So definitely, if you're struggling, routines and schedules can really help you, because you don't have to think when you get up. You don't have to think, make decisions, and sometimes you're just not capable of making decisions and thinking too much. And if you have it written down, you can just go through, do your list, and feel like you've achieved something, even if it is just getting up and getting dressed and making yourself presentable and giving a quick clean of the bathroom and making sure the dishes are done. If that's all you can do, then that's all you can do. And I find having a schedule and a routine means I can get more done and feel like I've achieved something through the day. So I definitely think if you're struggling, then try and get some kind of routine that works for you up and going. And as I said before, it's okay to step out of the routine and just wallow a bit if you're feeling like you can't cope, but don't stay there too long. Make sure that you actually get back into routine sooner rather than later, because you'll start feeling better the sooner you get back into it. Number 7, what are you grateful for? I'm grateful for a lot of things. It's been a pretty hard 2 weeks with news about my husband, and then my mother-in-law ended up in hospital with some kind of stomach virus that was not good, but she came out of it okay. And then I got a phone call yesterday saying my father-in-law had a heart attack and was in the hospital. So it's been a bit of a roller coaster, but I am grateful that, you know, everyone's okay, and they think they can fix my father-in-law and he should be okay. And my mother-in-law recovered, and at the moment my husband is okay. We can't do any extra testing for him until after lockdown, and he seems to be improving, even though according to scans he's getting worse. So I'm grateful for all those people in my life, however long I have them in my life. And I'm grateful for where we live, that even though we're in quarantine, we have got an amazing view and plenty of countryside with no people around, that we can go for walks and take the dog for a walk and not meet up with people. And that I'm grateful that our income and things haven't really changed so we can still live. We're not worried about not being able to pay our bills and things like that. So there is plenty to be grateful for, and I try and remind myself of that every day. I haven't been very good at that just lately, and I need to get back into that because I know that will drastically affect how positive I feel if I do my gratefulness journal every day, which I haven't been doing lately, and I have really noticed a difference when I don't do that. So I need to get back into that as well as part of my routine. So thank you, Maria, for making this tag, and I hope you enjoyed the answers, and I hope you will do a rainbow makeup look, maybe do this tag, and spread thanks and gratefulness for all those people who are out there serving us and risking themselves at this time so that we can actually have what we need. So if you want to know any more about my journey in gratefulness, I have a video collab that I did with Amethyst Winters that I will link for you, and I did a lot of research into that because I had so much I wanted to say. I had to write a million notes on it, but I do think being grateful for what you have is so important that it was worth that time and effort, and you may be interested in having a look and seeing what I've got out of it. So thank you for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye.